I'm always thinking of you. Out there. You okay, Rowdy? I'm done. Not done with me, are you? That's a long ass intro. Alright, that's enough. Alright, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. And boy, have we got a show for you tonight. So don't go too far. Let's get this basic stuff done here and get into it. Alright. Well, getting set up here. I'd like to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. If you've learned here for a little while and you've been around and you're getting to know me, you understand how precious this family truly is. Okay? Anyways, here we go. This is June 21st, 2024. Whoopsie. There we go. Yeah, that's a little better, huh? So you guys can see it. And let's get something that's holding it up. All right, here we go. So I'm going to let that loop play for a second. It's a little jumpy there. You can see that event. That's something. Okay, we'll go through this frame by frame here tonight. But first, everybody get settled in. Take a deep breath. All right, what we're going to talk about tonight can be disturbing, okay? So stick around for the end of the show where we relax, okay? And we do a spiritual report as well, okay? So, as you can see, we got lots of spire action going on over here, going on all around, all kinds of little needles pointing at all kinds of activity going on out there. This one is getting big and bright. Probably something going to come out of this region here soon. This one as well. Meantime, we do have this event right here. And, well, we report on a lot of these spherical objects, right, that come out, these black spheroids that absorb light, they don't reflect light, so they are tearing plasma off as they go. And then we've also seen, well, other activity as far as like ships and phases and spiritual realm type activity around the sun. Okay, so what I'm going to do first really is I'm going to speed this up so you can see it. Well, let's get just the right speed. That's probably pretty good. And then we're going to zoom in on it, okay? So we can see it in motion first, because in this case, it's the motion that defines the object, okay? If we went frame by frame, you wouldn't see the outline as clear as you do with it in motion. Our eyes are, well, there's pixels on the back of your retina that are there for detecting motion. Our eyes are designed to detect things that move. If a lizard's sitting still on a rock, you don't see it. It's not until it moves, it catches your eye, something, pixels shifted in the retina of your eye, and it caught your attention, all right? So, what we're seeing here, I'll let you be the judge. It's clearly a disc. It's a UFO coming out, not coming out of the sun, but coming up to the sun, interacting with it, getting draped with plasma. It itself has an electromagnetic field that protects it from the sun, much like our planet does. You can actually see the little field glowing around the object, right? See it? Okay, so this, that's how they can get close to the sun and interact with it and stuff, because they can generate their own magnetic field that protects them. And, you can see it right here coming out, or, addressing the sun, interacting with it, causing a CME, and then slowly moving out. You can see plasma or the solar wind material draping over it and moving out faster than it is. Okay, so there you go. And there's really not much else going on. Just this activity over here, right there. Okay, but the big one for today is this activity right here. It's cookie cutter, clear, crisp, obvious what's going on there. Okay. Everybody can sit there and have their doubts or whatever. It's not until you see one personally yourself that it changes your life and you can't take your eyes off the sky. You will break your neck after seeing one, because you will be constantly looking up, looking for more, right? Same with the faces in the clouds. Once you see one of those, a real one, you cannot stop looking up. It's really hard, okay? And this is all part of the story, the storyline. These are the watchers, okay? It's important. See, when I went through my UFO phase, it was an important stage to understand that there is life outside Earth. There is consciousness other than our race, okay? Which opens your mind to the possibility of God existing, okay? These aren't God, these are the watchers, okay? But they're outside of our realm of existence, kind of here on Earth. So that's like the door that kind of opens your mind a little bit to the probabilities that out there. And let me also tell you that two things can exist at the same time, okay? Do you understand? UFOs are real and God is real too. It's man who takes both of them and contradicts them. That's what man does, is take both subjects and contradicts them. They're both in there in the Bible, okay? And what you're looking at are the watchers, other entities out there, advanced races from the past interacting with our sun, okay? And also something else. To travel across space is to travel in time, okay? So advanced races from the past is not too out of the question because, well, it's really how you look at things, okay? Really, it's perspective, right? So this and the spiritual realm are both real. Two things can be real at the same time, even though man takes them and kind of contradicts them or whatever. If you read closely, it says there are angels, there are fallen angels, there are watchers. Well, how are they supposed to watch except from above? So vehicles that float above the earth, look down, they watch, right? Portals. Let's get into portals real quick. Everybody and their portals. Let me explain something to you that's going to scare the shit out of you. There are billions of portals, and they're all over the earth, and they're people. They're not little round gates that open up. People are the portals. You are a portal for demonic entities, divine entities. The portal is you. That's why they got you looking all over around in movies and here and there for portals, because they don't want you looking at yourself or inwardly. Anywho, there is clearly a UFO right there. And now most people will miss it. They'll tell you it's just a solar flare, blah, 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 blah. I know what I see. I've experienced this stuff my whole life, so. And then the ridicule that goes along with it. And then finally they come out and admit UFOs are real, but nobody comes back and apologizes. Hey, you were right. I'm sorry I ridiculed you. Nope, they just continue. They just keep going. Well, you're crazy now for the angels. Well, I showed you those are real too. Now what? What's next? They admitted to some other stuff. NASA admitted to it. And just get swept right under the rug. Probably can't even remember what they admitted to, huh? Planet X being real. Psst, Planet X is real. Sweep it under the rug. Next. Yeah. Are we having fun or what? Okay. So a little different style here since I put all our indices up top. Let's just start here. Our solar flux index is at 197. It was in the red. It dropped 6 points down into the yellow. Thankfully. Thank you, Jesus. All right. Now, sunspot number 133. We're getting down into the green, which is good, where our count is going down. The area is still way spread out, which can be good at this point because it's keeping those sunspots separated. They're not close together. So in this case, the area being a lot of the area in the red can be good because it's keeping them separated, so they're not so tight together. And then when they do, they spark, right? So red can be a good thing sometimes if done properly. Okay. Real quick, while we're up here too, let's just take a little peek at the sun here while we're here. Oh, my eyes. What happened? Why does this hurt my eyes? Okay. Now, here we go with our 2 sunspot regions, 12, 13, also 16. All 3 of them pretty developed regions, complexes. All right. Now they're reaching that danger zone. This is where our IMF line hooks up. The IMF line is charged itself, okay? So these have been very quiet as they rotated around, which is great news. I love that all day. I don't want to see X-flares. I want to see quiet, calm, peaceful. But right here is an electrical conduit that we could possibly, our IMF line could possibly spark it. Okay, the sunspot's behaving, and we come over and poke it with some electricity. So either one, it could hit this one or this one. This whole region, well, we're below the equator of the sun, so it'll most likely be this one or this one. Okay, probably that one. But there's still potential up here. It's still in that danger zone. Okay, so I'll show you here in a minute. Most of you already know what I'm talking about. But we'll go over that here in the other little further in this report. Oops, what am I doing? Stay right there. Slide on over and drop on in. There we go. So there's your solar flux for today. Okay, I'll leave that sit there for a second. It doesn't always reflect the sun, the activity on that we see on the SOHO, because this is only detecting Earth-directed energy. So that's pretty mild. Nice mild day right there. That's good. As we go into tomorrow, it starts to pick up in activity. See this little pop right there? But that's tomorrow's activity. We could go take a look at it if you want. No? You don't want to see it? Well, before I tempt you and tease you, let's make sure that the data's there. We're going to do it anyway. How do you like them beans? Oh, dear God. No, let's not do that. Go back. Go back. No, stay here. You want me to do a report on that one real quick? Okay. Let me catch the opening frame here. Bingo. Because, ooh, wow, what a shot, huh? Let's see what other ones there are. What? All right. I just had to see some of the frames there. My eyes are getting bad. I need some. Look at that one right there. There's a round one right there. All right, so, dear. All right, let's right there, opening frame. I'm gonna zoom in on this red side here. On both sides. Here you can also see our stretch. Okay, you see curvature over round right here. This is light bending over a round spherical object. The actual rim of the object, you can see it black right through there. Okay, and it's got its little moon, its satellite alongside of it. So now we're going to slide over. Our bigger round black spheroid satellites. Let me get this just right. I don't want wavy lines. Okay, now it's time for you guys to like open your third eye as far as looking at things three-dimensionally. Okay, you got to remember, space is three-dimensional. We're looking at it on a two-dimensional screen. There is a black spheroid object back here with light bending over it. Okay, you can actually see the darkness, the round black darkness. The satellite right here, another one here, has plasma still glowing that's attached to it as it came by. That is a really good shot right there when you know what to look at. Whew. My heart's pounding. Woo-wee. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do, while zoomed in, see if I can get the next frame. There. Now, this is actually taking on some kind of triangle-looking structure. When I see this, boom, boom, boom. This structure right here actually is still glowing around the edges. And what I'm going to try to do here, watch closely, guys. Ooh, right there. Maybe one more brighter. Come on, please, Lord. Can I have one more brighter? There we go. I think right there kind of captures it. So one of our satellites appears to be maybe a big triangle object. Okay, last week we saw a triangle object in the plasma, bathed in the plasma with the tip sticking out. Right. Later on, we saw same triangle object here on Earth with the tip sticking out of the clouds. We also witnessed a saucer-shaped craft right after it. So the fact that we're witnessing these two similar objects again, remember we just saw a saucer on the today's, and this is going into tomorrow. It's not that far-fetched that we see them again. They're probably part of this system right here. This is a central star, burned out core, still retains heat. The satellites around, little planets that are around it, sustain life. And this is an ancient, race from the past. Watch this. All right, you guys. Here we go. Boom. Now what this is going to do is really, there's plasma going all the way around it. Right there. Kind of. If that's the plasma crisscrossing in that kind of configuration, that's a heck of a trick. And then you can see the curvature of the big planet back behind this right here. Let me step back just a dimension or two. Right. Ooh. Yeah, right there. Right there's a good shot. I'll let you guys kind of look at that for just a second. Wait. I want the lines. Oh, that's probably pretty good right there. Okay, so that's going into tomorrow already. We have a big old event here. I'll let you be the judge of this. Come on over to this instrument and take a peek yourself, okay? I don't always try to, I'm not here to convince you of this or that. I let you, be the judge of it yourself. But wow. What a capture, huh? And from far back, like we normally look at, it doesn't even really look like that at all, huh? See how perspective can change everything? See how it's important to have an open mind and look at things at a different perspective? Because you might be missing out on something that's right in front of your face. Wow. Absolutely wow. Okay. Help me, Lord. Where's that little brighter? There we go. Get brighter again. All right. Back to our report. Quite the shot right there. We'll revisit this towards the end. Okay, so that was your little triangle right there, I guess. And well, call it what you want. All kinds of names. Fits the definition of all kinds of objects as well. So, okay, now where are we going next? Okay, so no. Ow. I know. Quit doing it. All right, thank you. Thank you for your patience here. Geomagnetic forecast is all green for the next 3 days, okay? So that's good news. There's nothing coming inbound at all. So everybody's saying, all clear for the next 3 days. And I hope that it is. I want it to be clear for the next few days. All right. But seeing as how we have a big object that just absorbed a bunch of energy that doesn't always go the same direction the CME does. Sometimes it comes, more at the screen, more towards you and makes a close pass by Earth. And said radiation emitted from black hole, neutron star, whatever you want to call it. It fits the definitions of a lot of things. So, anyways, when that thing passes, the radiation still that's accompanying it gives us an unexpected geomagnetic storm. Okay. Now, take note. Next 3 days are all clear. So if anything happens in those next 3 days, unexpected, it should not be unexpected here at this channel. Okay. Everybody else will be like, oh, what happened there? All right. Now, I pray that that doesn't happen. I hope that I'm wrong. I pray that it doesn't get close enough to do that. All right. Now, let's talk about these sunspots really quick. We got 12, 13, and 16. 12 has gone beta gamma. It reduced down from delta configuration, so it's just 13 that's delta. That'll probably be the one if it does connect, okay? And, it might pop out a little X flare that would be, going more, the flare itself will probably be, we'll get to the tracker so I can point at it better. Meanwhile, we did have the 1M flare 5.7 out of number 19 right here. That's the same one. Our geomagnetic forecast or our map KP index really, really low. Scary kind of low. And then, up here to 1.5, not even 2. So that's good. We're not taking on a bunch of energy radiation from the sun, absorbing it. That's good. We don't need any more. Planet needs to release a bunch of energy and get caught up before we take on any more. I'm saying caught up on relieving pressure. Meanwhile, over here, large eruption of plasma was just observed behind the east limb beginning at 2330. Because this event took place off the limb, the resulting coronal mass ejection will be directed away from our planet. Okay, so CME from this latest one we're just looking at going away. Meanwhile, we have the object, no telling what trajectory it's on. Long time ago, when stereo A was back in its proper place, there was stereo A and B back in the day. And I used to do reports on those, but B went down, because of the activity out there. All right. So again, much like this little thing we were talking about last night, we traded this for our object. It's just a satellite, okay? But it would symbolize our object. If our object was going in this trajectory, bing, interacts, but then can keep going this way. Well, if it goes this way, it's getting closer to the Earth. So if it goes by that way, or we're going by it, okay? Either way. So the CME, thankfully, heading away, but we do get, travel. Say if something going this way, as soon as it crosses like this, you see these rings coming off? Pretend those are like magnetic barriers, right? So said object hits this magnetic barrier, right? All right, this middle ring, pretend that's a magnetic barrier. If the object struck it, it would cause a spark off the sun, right? So it comes up, it strikes a magnetic barrier, causing that, and then continues traveling this direction. All right, so that's how we would see an unexpected geomagnetic storm from the radiation accompanying the object, the systems, the moons, whatever else is accompanying it that absorbed radiation. So that's the reasoning behind my reasoning behind our unexpected geomagnetic storms and how these things travel and traverse and cause our CMEs. They don't come right up and kiss the sun. There's barriers. Pretend these rings are like little barriers. If something magnetic come up and strike this barrier, this magnet is going to react. Anything in between, it won't. But when it hits that certain barrier, that frequency versus another frequency, causing a spark or a jump of electricity and causing a CME. It's all electric and electromagnetic. If you understand electronics and how circuits work and stuff, that helps in your understanding of a lot of this. So there we have our CME tracking away. No telling the trajectory now. Oh, what I want to point out again here, we were not even close to being done there. All right, stereo A now, this red square sitting right next to Earth. The perspective it has is not very far of an angle off of our perspective, all right? Before, stereo A was here and stereo B was on the back. They used to watch the backside of the sun so we could monitor the backside of the sun, right? Well, stereo B got taken out by, and then stereo B got taken out. We still had stereo A back here. Now, when this object would pass through, I was able to take a good guesstimation from the angle of attack from stereo A. Then I would take a good estimation from the angle of attack from SOHO. Do a quick math formula between the two angles of attack. It gives you trajectory, and I could tell what trajectory this thing was going, or these objects were going. But now that they've placed stereo A so close, this angle is not much of an angle to work with. I'm using a protractor on a screen and getting my angles like from that, okay, and doing real formulas and getting pretty darn close. If I had accurate measurements, we could just... Oh, it's so frustrating. All right, let's move on. There's your look at all that plasma that just left the sun in that release right there. A lot of people, when they do the reports, they show you this much of the sun. They don't show you anything further out. You'll never know that there's an object right here that caused this because it's out of frame. They're always giving you out of frame information. Or not. I'm giving you the out of frame information. Everybody else likes to keep it in a box. I'm getting you guys to think outside the box, aren't I? That's we covered last night. All right, let's move on because I got all kinds of great stuff. Hang in there. We'll get there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. All right. No auroras this weekend. Now, no CMEs are heading for Earth. Okay, take note. No CMEs. As a result, our planet's magnetic field should remain quiet and undisturbed for the next 48 hours. Okay, that's good. 48 hours. No auroras are likely either this weekend. So, sunspots approaching the danger zone. This is what we're talking about. Sunspots that don't face Earth can be dangerous. Why? Because the sun is like a lawn sprinkler. Take a look at these sunspots approaching the sun's western limb. All right, this is the area that we talk about being dangerous. Okay, and it's because of this effect right here. All right, where our magnetic field line, our IMF, connects to the sun, isn't straight on like this, it's off to the side. And we saw that here. That's why I had this open again, too. I wasn't done here. In fact, I want zoomers. Okay, IMF line, arced like this, like the sprinkler, but it comes out of the side, right where our sunspots are approaching this quadrant of the sun, the surface of the sun. Our IMF line connects there, and it's electrically charged too. Electricity touches electricity, boom, a spark can jump. There's your connection IMF line right there. Okay, so our IMF line touches one of those spots, that could trigger the spot. All right. Good little article, very good, well, a classroom example of how this works. The spinning lawn sprinkler, on the left, a spinning nozzle sprays water in a backward arc. On the right, a spinning sun twists its own magnetic field into the same shape. Magnetic fields just beyond the sun's western limb, where the sunspots are heading now, curve back to touch our planet. This is called the Parker spiral. Okay, the Parker spiral effect. Now, the sun spits out a solar flare. It's going to travel down this line, right, like a copper wire. Also, our electricity, we're emitting gamma rays. We're overcharged, and we're emitting electricity in the form of gamma rays, all kinds of stuff. So we're sending a charge down the line. If it, like I said, could spark that, anything cause it to explode. Let me take a sip. If either of these sunspots explodes while it's near the sun's western limb, energy debris may be guided down the magnetic Parker spiral right back to Earth. All right. I'm telling you, electricity can go two ways. Earth and its Parker spiral right back to the sun could trigger the sunspot. Okay. As well. Now, moving on. Here we are over at the Schumann. I had a good little break right there. That was nice. Quick little stab right there in the back or in the side, whatever. A little grinding. Quick little pulses too. That's it built up, got a quick release, built up, quick release, built up, quick release, but micro, not in such a big fashion. I can't really zoom in on this one too much. No, it's zoomed in as much as it'll go on this side. But if you can just see these three little white little lines, each time it built up quick and released quick. It wasn't very long either. It was tap, tap, tap. So they weren't long, but they were there. They were short-lived and quick to form. So it was, these 4 or 5 little quick little things. But then we went good. A big grinding, a quick one again. The same effect, a little stronger. Then back to normal with a quick little burp here. But right now we have good continuity. That is what we desire. Our bodies, our physical, spiritual mind, and everything require a nice steady 7.83. Okay, so when disruptions like this happen, pain, also messing with your emotions, messing with your making you irritable, pushing your buttons, testing your resolve. And this stuff is sporadic, okay? You see how it happens here. And when there's weak field and it's really weak, people get violent, easily agitated, confrontational. But when it's strong, well, that can have other effects too. It make you feel euphoric. Some people feel energized. Other people feel a lot of pain. Okay, if you have broken bones or arthritis, stuff like that, low pressure weather cells will affect you, and this affects you as well. And it affects the other animals too, because every living thing on this planet relies on 7.83. This is the hum of the dynamo that's spinning inside the Earth. The core spinning inside its shell produces an electromagnetic field that hums, much like electricity does out of a high voltage wire. Our hum is 7.83 hertz. It's an actual musical note that can be played. We play a constant note, and every once in a while our note goes 40 notes at a time, really loud, like somebody turned the volume up. You had 40 different radio stations playing all at the same time, and somebody turned the volume up on all of them at the same time. All right, so we get blasts like that, and the Earth is, well, it's overcharged. We take on these CMEs. The energy hits the magnetic field. The magnetic field directs it to the poles, all right? Just like the sun has these poles that are charged. The poles are connected to the core. All the energy that hits the magnetic field gets, some bounces off, but some gets directed to the core of the planet. And when the core heats up and swells, it's metal. Metal expands when heated, so the metal core expands in diameter, grinding on the shell. When it grinds on the shell, this grinding, this low frequency emission comes up through the magma, all the way up through the crust, emits from the surface of the Earth out into space. All right. The sound of the grinding down below emits from the crust out into space. But the ionosphere is charged. It goes up, like say this is the surface of the Earth and this is the ionosphere up here. It emits from the Earth, goes up, hits the ionosphere, and bounces back down as an echo. All right. So the grinding sound that emits from the ground echoes off the sky. So when you hear grinding down below, you're going to hear it coming from the sky. When we have this grinding stuff, it causes the skyquakes, the trumpet blasts, the sounds you hear in the air. It sounds like it's coming from the sky, right? Everybody looking up, where's that coming from? But they don't see anything because it's being emitted from the ground. And they say when you see it in the sky, or you hear it in the sky, that the ground is shaking as well. Well, duh, it's because it's, the core grinding on the shell. And right now we have good continuity, release of pressure built up, relieved. These quick buildup and quick releases, that tells me that the boundary between the core and the shell is very, very tight. Any kind of energy will make it grind pretty quickly right away. All right. It used to be a blast would hit us and it would take 2 days for the Schumann to react. It took all that time for that energy to absorb down there, for them to swell, for it to react, for that gap to close up and finally start grinding. Then it changed from 2 days into 1 day, and then from 1 day to 12 hours. And then from 12 hours to 6 hours between absorption and grinding. So the shortening of that gap of time tells me that gap at the barrier is closing up. Now, any little mouse fart and we're fully grinding. See what I'm saying? We're right at the verge all the time. Meanwhile, we've had a release of pressure. We are resuming. Nice continuity, nice and smooth, which tells me we had a release of pressure. That's good. And we're not really grinding right now. So a little good news to report and a little explanation to newcomers as to how this all correlates and works. Okay. Thank you for enduring the explanation, you seasoned veterans here. Okay, let's move on. We're going to our upper jet stream. Look around for any kind of activity. All right. And at the same time, report on our jet stream. We got our wavy band going here. We're getting more into summer now. This is more of a zonal flow pattern. Spring is very transitional and very, sporadic. And now we're starting to see a little smoother zonal flow. See, if you look from the top down, We used to have all these really violent dips and stuff like this. Now we're seeing more of a circular pattern. Still activity, you know, but we're seeing a little more zonal, you know, the smooth zonal flow. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm all over the place tonight. You have to excuse me. I'm in a lot of pain, so I have to, or else I'll lose focus. Now, here's your correlation between your upper jet and your lower jet. Your lower jet stream is what steers your storms, kind of guides them. It's not necessarily your elevation for the storms. This activity up above affects this down below. This is your storm level, okay? So we still have this frog sitting off the coast here. This activity is like turning away from the west coast and coming back out. We have two good-sized storms here that would usually come in on that zonal flow, right, and ride that band. But now they're getting shunted north. For some reason, well, we got this heat anomaly out in the ocean causing rotation out here. This rotation has been stuck here for a while, and anything that approaches the west coast dives south. There we go. My bad. So you see what I'm talking about. Any kind of weather coming out of this, just bing. It's like there's a wall right there just blocking everything from coming onto the coast, which is kind of good for right now because other people are getting, like Moscow, getting hurricanes. I showed you in the intro, Moscow getting hit by a hurricane. So did China. China got hit with flash flooding. All right. Also, whoa, did that like twist your melon or what? We have this third storm right here. This was off the coast of Japan last night over here by Taiwan or by Tokyo, and now is getting caught up in this. Oh, boy. Over here, we are seeing the same kind of structure, conveyor belt. Conveyor belt structure, 3 storms evenly spaced riding the conveyor belt. This is an example right here of what I was describing we might see over here. And look, we're seeing it over here, aren't we? This is going to be interesting, the thermal report tonight, huh? Okay, so that's your weather. Oh, something else I need to point out. This setup with these thermal pockets creating flow like this keeps inducing this kind of flow, this flow pattern. We're kind of stuck in this flow pattern over on this side because of the thermal dynamics going on over here in the ocean. So hot, moist water, okay, hot, moist air coming off the Caribbean going into the Gulf where it's even hotter. Coming up into the country, most of the country is going to be hot because of this. So in order for your severe weather, it's going to have cold air too. So your severe weather is going to be starting to creep north in the summertime. The hotter it gets, the further north it should creep. Capiche? You kind of understand how that works a little bit? We'll see what happens here because we're getting different types of effects now. Meanwhile, we still have this Albert going on here, all right? It's part of the flow that's been sucking this moisture into the Gulf and then shunting it or driving it up into the mid part of the country. This little rotation, this gear, almost this vortex, guides the air as well. And if we keep having a hot pocket right there and a constant vortex of spinning air right there in that part of the Gulf, well, much like the little guide wheel on a derailleur of a 10-speed, you know what a derailleur is for the chain? There's a guide wheel that guides it into the other gears. Well, this is acting much like that guide wheel, just guiding it right up into that region. We're going to have to watch this closely. It seems to be kind of moving out, all right? That's good. I want to see it move. I don't want to see it stationary, position itself, okay? Because that'd be terrible. But here's this conveyor belt. You see the air currents that I'm talking about? Look, there's nothing in the middle, but everything's rotating around this conveyor belt right here. And here's storms lining up on the conveyor belt. I'm telling you, that structure is possible. Do you see it? Okay, take a break from that. Whew. Take you out of the frying pan and throw you in the fire here. All right. No, I'm just joking. So here we go. This should not faze anybody at this channel by now. You guys should be fine. Our country divided, obviously. I mean, if you don't have spiritual eyes and you can't see this country being divided on purpose, I will explain to you exactly how that works in the spiritual report. Okay? Right up the middle. Now, over on this side, you can see SO2 leaking out of the ground all over the place, perforations in the crust, the pressure, magma pushing up against the underside of the crust wants to come out, but the perforations won't let it out. So the gas that's stuck in between gets pushed out. So all kinds of SO2 being pushed out of the ground because of the pressure down below. We never had this problem until increases in pressure started happening down below. When we started having activity on the sun, this started affecting the planet. And years ago, there were 4 little dots along the Sierras here, and everybody took notice. Well, now we've got millions of these all over the planet. Where the hell is people taking notice, damn it? Forgive me. Sorry. And look how this storm right here is just, oh boy. All right, so pick your spot on the country. Let's look up here. This spot right here, probably, say again, Mount Hood. Okay, Mount Hood right here. Little sporadic emissions also looking like they're coming out of Rainier and St. Helens. Well, that's St. Helens more down that way. So, but as you can see, we got all these different little pockets, and the darkness of the color denotes the intensity. Okay. The more pressure we have, the darker it is. Okay. So I come over here, check the darkness of these spots, see what our pressure looks like. Now, this is the fulcrum point on the plate boundary right here, a weak spot, a path of least resistance where gas wants to escape. So right here we got our dark spot, right? Because it's path of least resistance. I always use this as a gauge, kind of, because it's always there. The darker it gets, it's a good indicator of pressure. Now, last night we saw more of a blob effect with these 4. They're kind of individualized a little more than they were last night. Individualizing like this shows a little reduction in pressure. When they get so big, this one wasn't just like a little square, it was a rectangle. This one was all blobby mixing in with these two. So that shows pressure. When we see more cookie cutter, smaller, isolated cubes, that shows that compared to the last one, that's a reduction in pressure. Still high pressure though, because they're in purple. Let me show you color chart real quick here. This denotes nothing. This denotes high pressure, or lots of CO2 coming out, all right? The CO2 coming out is the indication of the pressure. Not the color helps you kind of understand how that works, all right? Moving on. You can see down the whole coastal region, a lot of SO2 coming out of the ground right here. Headlines, breaking news. The coast of South America smells like sulfur dioxide. But nobody cares. We got other things going. We got some good distractions, I'll tell you that much. So there's South America, Central America, and North America. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to adjust for their time zone. Okay. And you can see they had a fair amount of pressure today too. Big old pocket right here. Just lots of dark, intense. In fact, let's just get you right up into that's all black. Well, one almost black. There's one little black dot there, but That's a very dark patch. Okay, lots of pressure in this region. And something else that nobody really understands or takes into consideration here, when this gas emits from the ground, when it comes up this little zigzag pattern through the sand, in the dirt, all right, it cuts left and has to drop down a foot, and then there's another little alleyway that's, and it zigzags its way up and down in this vertical, or, in that vertical column to escape. As it escapes, little particles, little sand particles fall and readjust and move around. Add rain to the mix. The water goes down into those perforations, loosens up that material. Gas comes out again, pushes it, wobbles it, mixes it all around. It shifts, moves, gets up and down. That whole place is going to become, their ground is going to be very unstable. Okay? Sinkholes, fissures, any kind of pressure could tear open, the ground, and literal tears, rips, fissures is what they're called. Meanwhile, the Himalayas block a lot of the gas, and India got their issues. Saudi Arabia, okay. Meantime, I come down here to Java. This has been our little relief valve. It spews a lot of this gas. Usually, when it's high pressure, this island turns a dark purple. Well, it's not all dark purple, but some healthy emissions coming right out of there. Over here as well. Sumatra filling in. It's, used to have little white patches, but most of them are kind of filling in now. Okay. Intense patches there. Java relieves a lot of this gas. It relieves a lot of the pressure in the area. Okay, so it's like a relief valve. So we come over and check the color of that. We got some darkness in there, indication of high pressure. Okay, so pressure's still pretty high. I made up this little chart, say on a 1 to 10, black being 10. Well, here, I would say 7. We're good, healthy 7. I don't want to get overestimate and we're at 9. No, I've seen it darker, but that's pretty healthy. I'll let you be the judge of that as well. Here's your color chart. Pull it over so you can look at the color and look at the chart. All right, unless you're colorblind, you can see. Yes, deep purple, smoke on the water. Australia got their issues. Okay, we're done with the SO2 report. Okay, let's move on. I want to get to the spiritual stuff. We got too much tonight. SST. What? One day, please. Okay, there's our latest data. This composite takes a minute, so the map's like a day behind. Okay, so since we last looked, this yellow bar that we were watching that was over here has reduced in size a little bit, coming back to life, like right here and off the coast right here. And wait until you hear the music. Dun 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 dun. Those of you who know the code, say the code to those notes, and you will hear the code in the very opening of that song. And at the spiritual report, I'll sing it for you. Now, meantime, we're seeing this little blob starting to grow in intensity. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to position it off to the side here, so when we pull up the calendar, we're going to do a difference run. There's what it looks like right now. A month ago, well, let's go back 2 weeks. Okay, because in 2 weeks it changed. So we were on the 19th, we went back. Now when I hit OK, watch the difference right here. That's the yellow bar that I keep referring to and talking about, all right? That is almost maximum pressure in one huge blob. Okay? And I'm very concerned when it was at this stage. All right? we had a new perforation in the crust open up here, a new venting spot just south of Alaska here that seemed to be the relief valve that caused this to reduce. Okay, so when we see stuff like this can be reduced. Okay, don't get, when you see it going like this, it's not too late. There's still hope. Okay, now let me go back now, because 2 weeks ago we were on runaway train effect, right? What a difference 2 weeks and some prayers can make, huh? Because now watch. That's a drastic reduce in pressure and temperature. Okay, now we're still seeing this small little yellow spot kind of come back to life right here. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, now, meantime, we still got this region off of the coast of Japan, open vent on the floor, spewing magma, creating hot water in the area, right? Okay, real quick, just do the currents. Hot water rising and cold water rushing in to replace it create a vortex. So any kind of heat plume will create its own vortex. The way that works, that concept, hot water, hot air rising, cold water, cold air moving in to replace causes a rotation vortex structure. Yes? Everybody got that? Good. Cool. Now we can get away from that. Oops, take off the currents. Okay, so hot spots create their own vortexes, all right? So hot spot right here. We've been seeing this area in between Japan and Korea heat up in this region, okay? We have Taiwan here with its right on the plate boundary at a fulcrum point, okay? So that kind of automatically makes it a relief valve just because of the structure itself. So our relief valve right here releases energy when pressure builds up. We have seen an increase in pressure and color, temperature, okay? That relates to, the temperature relates into pressure, okay? So we've seen an increase in pressure in this area. All right, we need a release right here at Taiwan, should lower this in this region, okay? When it does lower, we see cold water inundation rush in, right? So there was a plume of cold water here. It's diminishing as this increases, right? Gotcha? Good. Come on down now to Java. Java releasing a lot of SO2, our relief valve, volcanoes, earthquakes on the plate boundary. Okay, a weak spot, it's our relief valve. Cold water inundation around the region. Okay. Look at this. Look at that hot spot growing right off the tip right there. That's kind of new. Or very dominant tonight, let's just say, huh? Yeah, we got us a new spot right there. Let's go back a day. I want to see when that started. Let's go back to here. Let's do a 2-day. So it wasn't there 2 days ago. Let's go to 18. Still not there. Watch this, you guys. Are you ready? New perforation in the crust. Yes? Good. Meanwhile, perforations in the crust all down here. The hot water rising creates cold pockets. The currents oscillate cold to hot, cold to hot, cold to hot, cold to hot. Okay, you're either hot or cold, or I spit you out. And I'll just kind of do the current thing real quick here. We're still on it. Okay, good. Bing, bing, bing. Out of hot water into cold water. Into hot water, or warm water to cold, into hot, back to cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, all the way down the line. Look at that. And even cold water vortexes, see? Because water's rushing the hot one makes an anticyclonic right next to it. Anticyclonic meaning opposite rotation. Okay, hot, cold, either hot or cold. I hate lukewarm. Mediocre. Do you want to be mediocre? Come on. All right, hot plumes off the coast of South America. Cold water inundation trying to separate these two zones. Look at that. Because we are getting cold water down here. This is the winter time in the southern hemisphere. This should be some of the coldest water in the world, okay? So, there we go. Yeah, redefines the Ring of Fire. So, the Ring of Fire being like the hub or the rim of a bicycle has a hub, which would be Hawaii. So, we'll get to that right now, in fact. So, there's your thermal report. Oh, wait. Can't really yet. Now, what I need to talk about here. 1850. Okay, the wind patterns are now following the thermals. Okay, they're following the thermal anomalies being created. So you get one anomaly they don't move. The anomalies park. You will have weather parked over a region. You see how this thing hasn't moved out of the region. It usually moves up the coast, goes across, and moves back out. And if it were to move back out, what's it going to do? Get caught in this and go right back up in there, huh? But see this warm pocket? I'm telling you, it's creating a vortex there. And with a vortex parked right there is not good for the entire Gulf region. It's not good for this half of the country, is it? Look at that. I mean, just kind of back out. Now, as the Atlantic heats up, all right, we got this cold water patch over here. Let's pray it stays as long as it can, okay? Because eventually it'll probably get shunted out and we'll have an entire region that could go all yellow. We could see a big yellow bar across here that would feed hurricane after hurricane after hurricane, separated, evenly spaced, riding a conveyor belt. The conveyor belt before stopped. There was like a door that was closed right here. Air would come and hit that door and go up. There was a good round conveyor belt going like this around the Atlantic. Then, as the season progressed, this door opened up, and now the flow, instead of going up the East Coast, has broken through into the Gulf. All right? When that door opened up, it was probably when this vortex started to gain in strength and suck this stuff through. Instead of shunting it north, it's getting pulled through because of the rotation of this. Do you understand how that works? Do you see it in effect? Do you see it happening with your eyes? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Do you see the correlations with airflow to heat anomaly? Because that's going to be dictating the airflow. Yes? No? You see it? Now, let's go over here. Right there. You see this patch? See how the heat is causing a vortex? That vortex is keeping the weather from going onshore. The heat plumes have separated the three storms. Those are those three storms we saw on the see how they're getting on this conveyor belt? I'm going to leave that there for a second. Because I think you guys are starting to see the future a little bit. Okay? I gotta go say a nice little prayer right now, okay? Why don't you guys take a minute, go to your bathroom, do your thing. I gotta go say a prayer real quick. I will be back momentarily, okay? Don't go anywhere. This is your chance to, go to the bathroom, take a quick break, look at this, study this, think about what I told you. No time to recover. This is not time to recover. This is time. These prayers are important. I'm praying for your guys' strength and courage. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute. All right. Thank you for your patience. Sorry, I know the power of prayer, and my prayers are heard, so I have to. Mm, mm. You can fall asleep. My voice is soothing. You can fall asleep to my voice. You can always watch this later on replay. Okay, we got to move on now. We did chemicals. Okay, let's do the earthquakes now. Oh, wait, we still need that up there. Just as a reference for the hotspots. And we can take off all the wind. Actually, leave on the wind. All right, we'll leave it like that. Now, let's go on over to the earthquake report. Okay. All right. Sorry. Trying to regain composure here. We got our no deep quake, but we do have energy at the surface, 5.1 at a depth of 10 right there, just off of our. It's in our deep quake region. Okay, so the pressure is at the surface now. It's not down deep rattling, it's at the surface. 5.1 energy at the surface. We got 5.2 energy at the surface on this plate boundary. Over here, similar energy, 4.8, but it's down at 135. So at the surface, it'd be round 5. Okay, oops. Right here. See this arch right here? When you look topographically, you see how the structure underneath the ocean is. This has pressure in this ridge right here pushing that way, causing a small fulcrum. Okay. That's what dammed up all these islands and stuff. Okay. So right off of that is your 4.8 down at 41. I don't see any kind of volcanic feature. See, it's down in a pit down here, down at 41. This looks to be like a small little fulcrum point quake, just a little deeper off of it, is all. Nothing on the island, a lot of volcanic activity in the region, relieving pressure. We have 4.3 down at 109 here in this little deeper pocket area. Okay, nothing along here. Over here at Sumatra, on the island itself, 4.4 down at 187. Is it on our weak zone? Kind of. All right, we got to move on though. Whoa. Easy, cowboy. 4.7, 120. 4.1 down at 141. Our weak spot where we had the big quake and quake swarm, still weak, still a path of least resistance. 4.7 down at 51. Coming up here, boom, we got 5.1 at the surface, plate boundary, energy being relieved. Fulcrum point here, no quake at Taiwan. That's why we're seeing an increase in pressure in this region, okay? There hasn't been a quake here. Ow. Well, there was a couple of days ago, but it needs to fire off a good one to relieve the pressure in the area. Meantime, off of Tokyo here, 4.6 down at 34. Finally, an earthquake on the Kamchatka. 4.1 down at 113. We got 4 active volcanoes up here that relieve a lot of pressure. Okay. Usually it gets pinched off. The pressure coming over gets pinched off like a garden hose here and comes in a little lower. Lately, this whole thing just absorbs all the pressure. Anything coming off of that is kind of its own lately, pushing up from down below instead of traveling along. Okay, so pushing up from down below, 5.0 at a depth of 10 at the surface. We have a surface quake relieving the 5.0 energy. It comes up this way. Here's your fulcrum point. We have a new quake right here at 3.6. See its depth at 5.2? That's even shallower. So we have a 3.6 right now, very shallow, approaching fulcrum point area. Okay. Before I go all magnitude, did I cover the rest of the world? Oh my, look at this right here. 5.5 at the surface on the mid-Atlantic ridge. Right now, in red, is a 5.0 at a depth of 10. There we go. 5.0 right now at a depth of 10, plate boundary, doing the system doing its work, doing its job. Now, as we came over here, I wanted to go all magnitude. Close out that, close out this, give us the map. Okay, so we had the potential 5 coming in, knocked off this one. We just saw a 5 at the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. What's the very 1.8? I want to see what's right on both sides of the fulcrum. Come on. 19, 14. Bingo. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's go up here real quick for these folks in Washington. A 2.3 here at Waller. Okay. It's not at the base. Okay. This is St. Helens. Activity at St. Helens. Just small. Okay. Shows that the pressure quakes at volcanoes. Okay. These ones are all quiet. That's good. All this chain nice and quiet. We saw Mount Hood spewing a bunch of SO2, so it's relieving pressure in the region. Okay. Then as energy comes down through the wand of Fuke, our fulcrum point hits a 2.1. Here we have a 4.5 at a depth of 3 with a tsunami alert. The tsunami alert sometimes has a different magnitude. I'm going to open that real quick. I want to see if there's a discrepancy. 4.3. Okay. They're saying, this is NOAA saying 4.3. Okay. That's why I did that, because 4.5, they lowered it to 4.3. Okay. Sometimes they're stronger, sometimes they're weaker. I just like to see a discrepancy. That's all. 2s, 1.7. So that little region, a new weak spot right here. What is this feature? Man-made lake or something? Anywho, the folks in that region got rattled a little bit. That means pressure came in. got relieved. A bunch of it got relieved right there. Here's your the geysers micro quaking out. That's good. I will take that all day long. Good. All right, here we are. Activity on these little faults here in the Bay Area. 1.7 here at Berkeley. Just it's not big. It just shows that there's still the potential for the point of path of least resistance, a weak spot. Everything else looking good. Ooh, coastal. 1.6. As we back out a little bit, this just had a quake. Right after reporting, I turn away and we get a 1. What? Come here, you. A 2.0 just hit right there in Laytonville, California. Right after we just reported on this. So, this new weak spot. All right. Energy pressure is looking for the easiest way to get out, the easiest escape route. That would be called the path of least resistance. Just like water flows down a river, it wants the easiest way, right? So the pressure coming up from down below wants the path of least resistance. When it breaks through and creates a new spot, then we start to see a little activity in one region. Well, here we go. That's a good spot for it too. Because energy comes in, boom. You see how it has to take a turn and travel down? If it just came straight in, it would go bing right there. See this line? If it didn't turn and you kept going, it would kind of go straight into that area. Let me go like that. That's more realistic. Just off of it. Okay? Can you see what I'm saying? Pressure would come in this way. Now it's got to change. It doesn't want to change course. It wants to keep going in a straight line. And if this is locked up and can't move, well, then it'll go inland and look for a spot inland where there's a weak spot. And now we've got a new weak spot between. This is kind of good news. This is a weak spot in between the fulcrum point here on the Juan de Fuca and the geysers. All right, so we got two little new pinholes that relieve pressure in the balloon, on the skin of the balloon, relieving pressure before it can make it down to this area, keeping magnitudes and quantities and magnitudes down. Capiche? Comprende? See how that works? And then we got some good micro swarming down in here. That's okay. That's good. Microquakes are great. I would take them all day long because they don't do damage. They relieve energy. They don't do damage. We all understand what's going on in this region, right? Right? Good. Some things can go unsaid. It's like a understanding between a husband and his wife. They got that unspoken understanding sometimes. 2.2 right there. Okay. Ooh. Look at this. We are seeing activity currently down here now. And I come down here just to kind of check now. We're still seeing magnitude 3s. All right, this area was, known for its 2s and every once in a while a mid-range 2. We've seen a jump into the 3 magnitude range in this region. Now, we have a new quake right now, 3.1 here on Santa Cruz del El Saibo, Dominican Republic. Okay, Haiti's known for having big quakes as well. This is the island of Haiti and Dominican Republic cut in half. All right, so we're seeing energy being relieved in the form of, mid-range, 3, not mid-range 3s. It used to be mid-range 2s. Now we've seen a jump into the 3s, so our little relief valve spitting some 3s. Meantime here, Coco's Plate had a 4.8 down at 58 and a 4.5. This is that weak zone. Okay, water inundates into, shallow regions just like at the beach, turning this into like slurry. Okay, underneath this solid land down below is water inundated, and it's all like compact. Well, it's like jello, kind of. All right, so it has the tendency to move. It's weaker land. All right, inundated by water has the capacity for liquefaction a lot more. Out here on this plateau, see, this is all shallow water. There's a plateau. I checked just to make sure this isn't on the edge of this cliff. This is a cliff that falls, 1,000 feet down into this valley down below. Now, if you have an edge on this and you get an earthquake right on the edge and stuff falls, you got an underwater avalanche that falls down, well, you're going to get water displacement and a tsunami. So every once in a while when we see stuff in this region on this shelf, I got to make sure it's not right on the edge because it could cause a breakaway underwater landslide, which we will be probably entertaining in the future, okay? Sorry to have to tell you that. Meanwhile, over here, this is beautiful. We want to see mid-range 5 to 5, okay? Nothing too big out here on this plate boundary, but we need to see more energy being released so the temperature won't build. Capiche? Do you understand? Yeah, you guys do. You guys are awesome. I'm so blessed to have such a wise audience, really am. Current quake 2.3. Let's see, a bunch of 2.3s. Even stuff out in the water. Okay. The other day we had a little swarm going on out here. This would be the progression of the next island if it were to form. Okay. It would be out off this side of the island. But we're seeing, 2s, 3. What was that, a 3? No, 2.3. 2s and 2.3s were leaving energy around here. The volcano itself, when it erupted, the lava cools in the chamber, the tube coming up, and it seals it. So pressure comes through the area and can't get out because it's sealed. So it'll microquake out. And we were seeing so much microquaking and swarming that it finally opened up a fissure here, much like it Recahanus, and a crack. A literal crack or fissure opened up and started spewing fountains of lava. Okay, so we have a new weak spot here. Now that it erupted, think when it cools off, it'll plug up that crack. Now, if there's still a spot of a path of least resistance, it could tear open at either end, or where it didn't seal up properly. The one weak spot would go first. But if it's sealed up really tight and won't erupt again, we could see microquaking like this, which we're seeing indicating that our fissure has sealed up. Works both ways, right? For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So sometimes when you see an effect, which is an earthquake, what's the cause? Because there's always cause and effect. So if you see an effect, it's time to think deeper, open your mind, and find out what the cause of that effect is. Okay? And you could come over to my channel and I can help you with that, if you want the help. 4.631, that's it on the volcanoes, or on the earthquakes. Let's close out. Oh, leave that. Close out the Russian site. Close out that one. Close out this one. That. Okay, let me do a volcano weather, and then we will get to the spiritual report. Oh boy. So, really, before I forget, say that again. What the heck? Here's Karaminski, new volcano. Karaminski, new volcano. No identifiable satellite imagery right now, but we got a new one on the list. It's yellow, minor activity. Luatobi, 8,000 feet. Semeru, probably maximum. Yep, 15,000. Marapi on Sumatra, 11,000. That's a good blast. Nevada del Ruiz, back on the list again, but no reported height. Reventador, 15,000 feet. That was already into the 22nd. Let's go and look at what was today is now yesterday. Oh, no. That one right there, the 21st, yeah. A lot of red on this map. Okay, you see all these currently erupting volcanoes in this region relieve a lot of the pressure in there. All right, you see currently erupting volcanoes here. Here on the Kamchatka is Shivalus, Klychevskoy, Bizamani, Ebico, all currently erupting, and now add a fifth that is semi-active Karaminsky. Okay, so now we have 4 fully and a new one, fifth, going active now. All right, minor activity. Recahenus still currently erupting. All right, don't forget down here, hiding under the bottom of the page is an active volcano called Erebus down in Antarctica. Yeah, active volcanoes in Antarctica. That tells you worldwide pressure. Meanwhile, Etna, the weak eruptive activity from the crater, vivid glow from the webcam indicates highly likely the ongoing spattering from the crater. Okay. Etna still kind of active, little bit of lava making it to the surface. See, there's a new perforation right there. It's not a big one. It's just letting a little tiny bubble out, right? But new perforation, yes. Karaminsky, explosive activity continues. Tokyo warned about a volcanic ash plume that rose up to 12,000 feet out of our 5th volcano on the peninsula. Semi-active at 12,000 feet. Sorry. Okay? A semi-active 12,000 foot blast. A new perforation in the crust. Yes? Ibu, 6,000 feet. Ibu or IBU? IBU too, if you only knew. Okay, 6,000 feet. Come on, quit running away from me. Everybody always running away from me. Utobi, 7,900 feet. Call that about 8,000. Okay. Semeru, 15. Dukono, 8,000. Home Reef Tonga, still effusive eruption of the volcano continues. The lava flow continues to feed the new pancake-like lava delta. A pancake-like lava delta on the east, enlarging the island's size. Fuego, 15,000 feet. Nevada del Ruiz, 19. Reventador still on. Sabancaya still too. All right. These lists, okay. We got a couple newcomers. So currently erupting means currently erupting. All right. We, at one point 10 years ago, there was only one volcano on the planet that was erupting, and it was in Hawaii because it's Hawaii. Now we have a lot more. And if I'd have told you 10 years ago that you were going to have 60 active volcanoes, you would have gone, yeah, right. But these are all active. Activity means active. Erupting means active. We're going to nice and slow walk this. Barren Island, Bizamani, Dukono, Ebico, Erebus, Urda Ale, currently erupting. The possibility that there's still minor activity at Aoba, Bangana, Canalone, semi-new, Concepcion, semi-new, Cotopaxi, old volcano, newly back into the game again. Okay. Meanwhile, Etna, currently erupting, Fernandina, Fuego, Home Reef, Ibu, Krakatau, the son of Krakatoa, in the Sunda Strait right there between Java and and Sumatra. Okay. Potential out of Dempo we saw. Gama Lama, Great Sitking, Kringatang. Here's Karaminski. What did we see out of Karaminski? 12,000 feet? Take it off and put it over here. New one, Kerinci. Watch out for that. Here's Kluchevskoy in the Kamchatka. Currently erupting, goes over there. Manam, Mayon. We saw, what did I just read Nevada del Ruiz? I could have swore I read an eruption out of Nevada del Ruiz. Currently erupting, goes over here. Meanwhile, Merapi, Michael, Nimiragira, Niragongo, Popo, Reventador, Recahanus, still going off. Currently erupted. That's a lot of pressure coming out of the ground. All these currently erupting. Meanwhile, Poas, Purase, Reung, Recon de Vieja, San Cristobal semi-new, Tofua, Ubinus, Uluwan. All right. Currently, Sabankaya, Sakurajima, Sange, Santa Guida, Semaru, Chevelu, Stromboli. That's a lot of volcanoes, you guys. All right. I used to not report on volcanoes until the pressure all of a sudden was not being vented in the earthquake form that it should be. So our volcano activity picked up. So that's why we do volcano reports, because of the pressure down below pushing up on the underside of the plate is trying to find pathways of least resistance to the surface. It's shoving SO2 out of the way and finally making to the surface in all kinds of places above water and all kinds of places below the water. Places below the water are causing vortexes of air currents for stationary weather. The increase in the heat will be increases in the weather. We just stepped into summer. We still have all of summer and all of fall to go. And we are at way beyond points that we've ever seen already. Going to be a very, very crazy summer. Okay? And I am preparing you for that. All right? Don't just take my word for it. You guys need to be listening to Mike from around the world. Okay? I know him well. He's doing the best he can to give you as much as they will allow him. Okay? Sometimes certain subjects can't be talked about until someone breaks the ice, right? Call me the icebreaker. Okay? You can call me the icebreaker, because I will break the ice and address a subject that is going to be catastrophic here in the near future. Everybody on the coastlines, get prepared, okay? This region, we're already seeing effects. Are we not? Okay? Conveyor belt effect. The possibility of a conveyor belt effect with storms riding it. Okay? Let me, you see the correlations with the heat. Evenly spaced storms riding, help me Lord, riding this current, right? Can you see it? Okay, so the thermal production off the ocean floor will dictate weather. Okay, we have volcanic activity all over the surface above water and all over the surface below water. This below water, hot water inducing activity disrupts life down below. Down there, it's cold. Okay, down there, there's no light. Down there are creatures that we don't know exist yet, right? We've only We've only explored a little bit of our oceans, right? When we look at the fossil records and we see creatures that once lived on this planet, how come it is so far fetched to think that something could not survive way down deep for a long, long time? Especially a big apex predator, once it gets to a certain size, there are no threats to it ever again. Ever. No threats. And if it doesn't die of a sickness, it'll live on, getting bigger and bigger, okay? We are going to see some disturbing creatures coming out of the deep. Stuff that you've never seen before as well, okay? As we get into the spiritual report tonight, we'll talk about your imaginations and how your imaginations drive stuff. Hollywood sickens society with images, perverse images that then go into the spiritual realm because you witnessed it. And what happens in the spiritual manifests in what? The physical. Anyways, we're already starting to see these creatures, okay? So when you start to see bizarre creatures, you'll kind of understand why. As well as on land, there are creatures that live under the surface on land that will be driven up to the surface because of heat. Creatures like, well, insects, all the insects are going to be driven up to the surface by heat down below. And you might see insects that you never thought existed either, okay? All kinds of side effects from this, you guys. It's just the laundry list is almost too big to list. But we're already starting to see side effects, okay? This little vortex, if it doesn't clear on out of there and move on out of there and stays positioned right there, everybody go get some cold water from this side and throw it in there, okay? Cool this area down. Or I got another idea. We could create a perforation of our own in a spot, where there's no one around, with a lot of cold water to diffuse some of the hot water. We could make our own man-made perforation with a valve on it and control pressure. But I got a better idea. Why don't we build a bunch of nuclear bombs and destroy each other? Sound like a better idea? Good. You guys are so smart. Meanwhile, we got big La Nina growing now here because cold water is searching for a spot to hide, right? We got all this hot water around, so it's like retreating, and also it will push to reach out. This hot water rising needs cold water to rush in, right? So it will draw cold water out that way and create a La Nina. Maybe it's not El Nino season or La Nina this year. It could be out of sync because of hot water out here drawing. Do you see all these arrows going this way? That pulls stuff into it. See how this is being pulled into this flow? And that'll change weather patterns as well. It is so unpredictable now. And we got the spheres and the spiritual realm as players in the game as well. Now, with that right there, let's open up weather. You guys are hanging in there. Thank you. You're very patient. In the background, little did you know, I'm teaching you patience too. You didn't see that one coming, did you? All right. Maybe. Oh, let's load this up first. That's why it's not behaving. All right, let that load up for a second here. And while we're doing that, just like to thank all of you guys. You're awesome. All right. That's kind of further out there, so a lot can change either way from severe weather to not that bad, and also from nothing into severe weather. It's so volatile, as in can change quickly at any moment. So weather has become volatile, meaning changes quickly, both ways. All right. So here's our current conditions right now. We got little severe pop-ups popping up back up in here and stuff. Wind created a huge dust storm here. Finally, we're getting dust storms in America. Okay. We didn't do the sandstorm report tonight, did we? That's okay. Let's just keep going. Severe pockets and stuff right in here for right now. This is the nighttime of the 21st. So let's go into the morning of the 22nd. Still potential right there. Still this down here. Noontime, we still have severe weather in the region, even into Minnesota. Convection. That convection could be a little harder, a little more intense than what they're showing. Nighttime. Morning of the 23rd. Look out, Canada. Noon. Convection. Nighttime. 24th. Special day. Noon. Convection. Nighttime. Look at that. From the morning of the 24th, we got just a little bit of rain clearing out of here, but most of the country's all clear. Starting in the morning, it's clear. It clears up even more at noon. Severe weather doesn't dare cross the border. There's convection, hardly any rain or severe weather. Nighttime of the 24th, the only severe weather still doesn't cross the border. Maybe out here on the coast, a little light rain. But for the entirety of the 24th, the whole country looks pretty good. Up there in Canada, though, right along this border there, that's the morning of the 25th, noon, convection, nighttime. Nighttime of the 25th here, you guys, all through this region. You see how it's connecting down here. Remember, we have warm flow going up like this, right? It's coming up, going like this. So any of this can reach back down this way. All right, we got severe weather. What they're indicating is northern Illinois, Indiana region, Chicago. I might see a tornado in Chicago. Over in Detroit as well. Here, a little patch right there at the border, possibly, of Oklahoma, Texas, right there. Or Oklahoma, Kansas, sorry. Then we go into the morning of the 26th. We're talking severe weather here again. Well, kind of Indiana, Illinois area, Chicago, kind of right around there. Noon, the 26th. Convection, all splattered all over the place. Nighttime. Morning of the 27th. Noon, convection, nighttime. North Dakota, Canada. I'm trying to tell you, the colder air up here with this warm, moist air is going to start making this region a new, and Canada, a new kind of tornado, severe weather alley. Not necessarily tornado alley, but a new severe weather region. How about that? That'll be the morning. Oh, dude. So it's going to be deceptive. By convection, there ain't going to be much activity. But you see this really strong low right here, 986 millibar. All these tight millibars are high winds and everything. We got cold, moist rain coming in and warm air coming up, right? So watch. Convection, nighttime, especially when the air cools off, right? Because the air is cooling at night. So it intensifies the convection and sticks around in the morning. See how in the morning, the coldest air, now we're getting convection further south. Understand? Cold air now in the morning time, you can more moist air running into cold morning air, your severe weather will travel south. See how that's going to come into play here too? Morning of the 28th, noon, convection, nighttime. This could be a QLCS, quasi-linear convective storm front right here. It's only showing little pop-ups here and there. Those are dangerous too, discrete isolated supercells. So we go morning of the 29th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 30th, noon, convection, nighttime. See this low creeping in again here. Morning of the 1st, noon, convection, nighttime. That will be a very nasty situation if that comes into play, but that's July 1st. That's a little ways out. Too volatile, really, for this anymore. So I'm just going to kind of plow through this. Morning of the 2nd. Dude, are you kidding me? Let me watch this real quick. Ooh. If this pans out like this, that's a huge area. Severe weather in the morning. Okay, I'm telling you, cold air up here, warm air, morning time. That cold air in the morning will cause this stuff to come out of Canada and drop it a little further south. That one right there, I'm a little concerned with this low right here. It backs up, regains strength, boom. Okay, that'll be the nighttime of the 2nd, going into the morning of the 3rd, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 4th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 5th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 6th, noon, convection, nighttime. You seeing a pattern up here, you guys? Any people in this region, you better pay attention. Noon, convection, nighttime. I'm so tired of seeing people die because they're not paying attention. All right, I'm going to put this back into play. I want you to watch this region over and over, getting hit again and again and again. You're starting to see this new pattern, this new flow, this new weather pattern that's forming now, huh? It seems to be taking a lot of the energy and focusing it in this region up here because we have that warm, moist flow coming up. Oh, here's the cold air boundary right around here. The longer we get into summer, the further north that cold air boundary will creep. Your morning time activity, where cold air, it'll drop down like this. You see what I'm saying? We'll continue to see that kind of new weather pattern now. You understand that concept a little bit? You guys are pretty good here. You guys grasp concepts well. Okay, that's very important that you grasp concepts. See, they didn't teach you that in school. They just told you what to think, not how to think. All right, it's important that you see stuff, put it to the test, grasp the concept, the theory, test it. If you get a result, test it again. Try to get that same result. If you keep getting the same results, your theory has been confirmed. It's the scientific process, but applies to everything. Okay, it's a way of grasping concepts because we don't do that anymore. We're just look at it on TikTok and go, oh, cool, let me share that and like that. You didn't even know that you're trying to grasp a concept. All right, so there is your geophysics, your astrophysics. Okay, now it's time to get to the metaphysics. Okay, and we're going to talk about the Rogue One. Okay, it's important that you understand something. Very important. And we're going to just pop open some images here. Now's a good time to go to the bathroom, get your snacks while I'm opening up images and stuff, and then I will start to explain some stuff. Okay? Please, Lord, may we have Google's cooperation. Thank you. Let's open up some images here to look at. All right. Our old reliable, this is gonna be every night I show this one because it's a real event. All right. It's important that you know that this actually took place and happened. Yeah, that's the right one. And maybe you guys see it. Actually, it's not doing too well tonight. Anyways, we're gonna. How about we just pop up an image? Go to the albums. And that one right there. All right. You guys can see that one right there pretty well, right? That one's a good one. You don't have to tilt your head sideways. You can kind of see the crown a little bit better, make out the face and the hair and everything a little bit better right there, okay? So, as we get into this, help me, Lord. I gotta get this right. So, we're gonna talk about, the Rogue One, okay? So it starts kind of different than most. This is going to be a true story through a hypothetical, okay? So we're going to be using like allegories, hypothetical, that's telling a true story, okay? So some of the things will be facts, but will be, well, disputed, misunderstood, kind of. So I got to be very delicate with this. All right. So the Rogue One was not enlisted in the Marines, but was adopted by the Marine Corps. Okay. He's a soldier that did not enlist, but was adopted into the Marine Corps, okay? Brutal training, okay? Training to the point of hand-to-hand combat and killing people. So, this Rogue One is not an official DOD employee, okay? But he still is adopted by the Marine Corps, okay? So this is a soldier, okay? This Rogue One is a soldier, okay? And help me with this, Lord. This soldier, he took an oath, okay? He took an oath to serve and protect and defend his people, okay? Not to serve or not to defend the Constitution necessarily, okay? So he takes an oath, a real oath, a serious oath to protect and defend and serve his people, okay? So during his service, he's thrust into the battlefield, right? Because he's a soldier. That's what service is on the battlefield, okay? So this soldier gets thrust into the battlefield. Then he gets, how do I put this, Lord? He gets him and his squad. He's a part of an elite squad. It's an unknown elite squad that doesn't exist on the books, okay? So he's part of this elite squad, right? And this elite squad gets betrayed by the government, okay? And this soldier and his squad get ambushed, okay? They get ambushed by the enemy. And the soldier is the only remaining survivor from the squad. He gets taken into enemy custody. He gets captured by the enemy. The enemy really doesn't like him, and they torture him to death. They don't like this soldier at all, so they take pleasure in torturing this soldier to death. And they throw his body out onto the battlefield. They actually put it in a certain spot on the battlefield, right? So everybody knows where this service has ended, and now people can see that this soldier is deceased. So during the process, someone comes along and revives the soldier while on the battlefield. Okay, so he died on the battlefield, was tortured by the enemy, was missing in action, is missing in action. Okay, his body was displayed on the battlefield, but when they went to check, it was gone. Somebody in the meantime came and revived this soldier while he was on the battlefield, and he disappeared. Now, days afterwards, people saw him. He was seen, so they know that he's still around. Okay, this soldier is rogue. All right, he's not part of the DOD and the government. They betrayed him. And now he's doing his service still to this day in the shadows. Okay? He still serves his people, but from the shadows. Okay? He's help me, Lord. I think you guys are grasping how this works and who this soldier is. Okay, he's a spiritual warrior. This is an elite soldier that fights on a battlefield that no other soldier can. Okay, no other soldier ever can fight in the realm that this soldier does. Okay. And betrayed, stabbed in the back, left for dead, rises to the occasion, goes into hiding, goes rogue, still serving his country. See, the soldier took an oath to resist tyranny. In your Constitution, Article 2 tells you as a citizen, it's your civic duty to resist tyranny. Okay? That's what makes us free, right? Well, we're not free. We're in tyranny right now. And this soldier has been called forward to resist the tyranny and show you who the elite squad is. Okay? Do you understand how this allegory, this story works? Okay? He didn't sign up. He was adopted by the Marine Corps. All right? I didn't want to go into battle. I didn't want to go through the training, but I did. I went through training that that isn't seen in the Marine Corps. Okay? But I was trained by a Marine. Do you understand that? I was adopted into the Marine Corps at a very young age. All right? I died on the battlefield, was resuscitated, brought back to life. I work in the shadows, late at night, still fighting for my people. It's known as the Black Knight. Okay? Black Knight is, well, getting a little complicated here. So the term knight is a good guy, all right? The knight in shining armor coming to the rescue. But a black knight is not necessarily a bad guy, all right? He's just he's a mean, badass individual that fights the mean, badass evil, okay? He's not afraid to face him because he's the Black Knight, okay? There was a White Knight, all right? That's still a knight, still doing good, but the White Knight doesn't have the tenacity to take on the dragon. But the Black Knight is scary. He's an individual with power. He fights for his people. He loves his people. And he's a king that fights. He's a king that leads the charge on point every night, almost every night. He's a general. He's a leader. He's the leader of the spiritual warfare department. And you have been recruited. Capiche? You understand? I'm a general in an army that nobody else can access. I'm the one-man army, baby. The Black Knight. My initials are BLK. Brian Lee Knight. BLK. Black? BLK. Black Knight. My name even says Black Knight. Okay? I'm the good guy who's the badass that comes and kicks the dragon's ass. Get it like that? Yeah, that kind of guy. You know, you guys all idolize that character in Hollywood. Well, that character actually exists. He's a real person fighting for you. All right, let's get into the reading tonight. No. We'll keep that image. Get another one going here. All right, so it's kind of important that you understand who you got on your side. Because this ain't just a joke. You're going to need somebody who knows how to battle in the spiritual realm. And you got the best one. I want my channel here. Brian Lee Knight, the Black Knight. Do you see my symbol? Do you see my coat of arms? Do you understand black and white, positive, negative? I am the one that knows positive from negative, knows good from evil. I am the evil one who stands for good. How about that? The rogue one. You know why I'm the rogue one? Because nobody else can do it. Nobody else wants to do it. It's not easy at all. Excruciatingly painful, even in my sleep. You guys are truly blessed here at this channel. Truly. Not just saying. The moment you start trusting me is the moment you're truly blessed. Huh? Aren't you? Let's pull up some other stuff real quick. You guys like that? You understand who Rogue One is? It's a soldier who takes his oath seriously. When I took my oath, I took an oath to defend against enemies, foreign and domestic. Exclamation on the domestic part, because that's the realm where no other soldiers can fight, right? They can't fight the domestic terrorist, the politician. No, they take orders from the politician. Therefore, they are ineffective when they follow orders. We're following orders from the criminal. That turns our military into a bunch of thugs. Oops. But that's okay. One of them was smart enough to see through it. One of them went rogue and figured out how to do battle in the spiritual realm where they have no control. They don't stand a chance. That's my face right there by the moon. That's me when I'm reading to you. Okay? And tonight I'm not showing my face because I'm tired. I'm exhausted, physically torn up. I can barely move. So give me a second while I pull up my words, my notes. I hope you guys understood that and you enjoyed that story. It's a true story, metaphorically as well. Before I do this, can I show them that, Lord? All right, hang on just one sec. I gotta do something real quick here because I'm gonna show you what my cell looks like. All right, just pull it out of the case for a minute. We got enough battery? I think so. All right, here. Okay. United States Marine Corps, Semper Fi. Semper Fidelis means always faithful. I am the one who's always faithful. See that? A little cross, I made some Christmas lights on it. Man of valor. You guys are red, white, and blessed. What's that one say? Home of the free. Because of the brave. Because a man of valor stands up to the criminal. Criminal elite. A bunch of... I live in a closet. It's really small. It's my cell. Oh, okay. So important that you guys understand. This is a real deal. Toughest individual in the universe. I'm paralyzed from the waist down and walk around still. The pain is so excruciating, you wouldn't be able to stand up and walk. I know you wouldn't be able to because you guys are in the emergency room for a hangnail. All right? Excruciatingly painful to walk, to move, to lay down, to breathe, to do everything. All right? But I do it for you because it's, well, it's part of who I am. Okay? So... you know that the Rogue One, the Black Knight, truly exists. He exists, and that makes you, well, that you, beloved child. I choose you before the foundation of the world to walk with me along paths designed uniquely for you. Concentrate on keeping in step with me. Instead of trying to anticipate my plans for you, if you trust that my plans are to prosper you and not to harm you, you can relax and enjoy the present moment. Can't you? You are my beloved child, and concentrate on keeping in step with me Don't try to anticipate my plans. Just trust that my plans are to prosper you, not to harm you. Okay? Once you understand I'm not going to harm you, you can relax and enjoy the present moment in my presence. I am here. Headlines all around the world, gone viral. He's already here. Your hope and your future are rooted in heaven, where eternal ecstasy awaits you. See this? You know where it jumps back and forth to the lion face? Here we're just going to kind of, instead of it jumping around, we're going to focus on that image right there. That's part of those 200 pictures. I just took it and rotated it so you don't have to cock your head there. When you see that, you are my beloved child. I chose you. And I chose to make you prosper, not to harm you. Out of all the people on the face of the planet, you can relax and enjoy the present moment. Your hope and your future are rooted in heaven, aren't they? Aren't they? Say yes. What else I got? Okay. And since your hope and your future are now rooted in heaven, where eternal ecstasy awaits you, nothing can rob you of your inheritance of unimaginable riches and well-being. Now, sometimes I grant you glimpses of your glorious future to encourage you and spur you on. Sometimes I show you images to encourage you and spur you on. Don't I? Nothing can rob you of your inheritance now. I grant you glimpses to encourage you and spur you on. But your main focus should be staying close to me. I set the pace in keeping with your needs and my purposes. Okay? You are your needs and purposes. Okay? Now, when I keep showing the one flips back and forth, telling you it's your foundation, this is the foundation right here. This image is still that same. It's just one picture out of that stack of flip book, right? That is your foundation. Okay? Keep telling you your foundation. Where to go? It's on the back side of this one. Yeah. Okay. So look at that and know that I am the firm foundation on which you can dance and sing and celebrate my presence. What? Not fear and worry and stress and anxiety? No. I'm the firm foundation on which you can build your dancing, your singing, and your celebration. That foundation on which you can dance, sing, and celebrate my presence. I'm here. Been here for a while. I'm like a thief in the night. I was already here watching you guys for a while. Okay? So, when you see this foundation, and I tell you you can build on that foundation, will you build by dancing, singing, and celebrating? That's how you build. Did you know that part? You're like, oh, you can build on this foundation. What am I supposed to build? Build a dance hall where we can dance and sing and celebrate my presence. Okay? And this is my high and holy calling for you. Okay? Do you understand? This is my high and holy calling for you. you here at this channel at this moment in my presence. So receive it as a precious gift, the precious gift that it is. Okay? Glorifying and enjoying me is a higher priority than maintaining a tidy, structured life. Give up your striving to keep everything under control. It's an impossible task and a waste of precious energy. My guidance for each of my followers, my children, is unique. My guidance for each one of you is unique. That's why listening to me is so vital for your well-being. Let me prepare you for each day that awaits you and point you in the right direction. I am with you continually, so don't be intimidated by fear. Though it stalks you, it cannot harm you as long as you cling to my hand. So keep your eyes on me, enjoying peace in my presence. I am with you continually, so don't be fearful. Even though fear stalks you, fear cannot harm you. Do you understand that? Fear stalks you, but it cannot harm you as long as you cling to my hand. That's why it's important you keep your eyes on me, enjoying peace in my presence. I speak to you continually. My nature is to communicate, though not always in words. I fling glorious sunsets across the sky day after day. I speak in the faces and voices of loved ones. Okay, so look for me there. Listen to me there. Okay, I speak in the faces and voices of loved ones. I caress you with gentle breezes that refresh and delight in you. I speak softly in the depths of your spirit, where I have taken up residence, haven't I? I speak softly in the depths of your spirit, where I have taken up residence. So, you can find me in each moment when you have eyes that see and ears that hear. Can you hear me? I speak softly. You can find me when you have eyes that see and ears that hear. Ask my spirit to sharpen your spiritual insight and hearing. Oh, did you know you can ask to have that sharpened? Ask my spirit to sharpen your spiritual eyesight and hearing. And hearing. That's this part. I rejoice each time you discover my presence. Don't you? Don't you guys feel good when you discover my presence? I do. I rejoice when you guys discover me. Oh, whoa. Say what? So I guess hold right there. People that were practicing today. So you had to you got upset. You started your event with the prayer again, and it worked. So it worked before. You didn't have any effects yesterday. You didn't get upset yesterday, but today you got upset. You knew exactly what to do. You went and you started your venting with the please Jesus help me, and it worked. And you're right back to it again. That's good. That's good. I like that. And then what? Then someone else says what? So someone else heard me talking about your improvement. Somebody else heard me talking about somebody's improvement on the show, and they gave the thing a try, and they found success. So we got a new member to the family. Yeah, we do. Oh, we do. Good. All right, back to. Sorry, that just came in. So good job. You guys are doing awesome. You're finally having success. That's good. And then it draws curiosity. The other person was like, "What are you talking about? Practice this, huh?" And they tried it and found success. They're here. Amazing. I rejoice each time you discover my presence. Just like that. As soon as we started talking about it too, I rejoice each time you, even in replay, I rejoice when you discover my presence, because you realize it's my presence and you're like, oh, it's real, it's true, he's here. And then you have joy, you have a new perspective because you discover my presence. And I rejoice each time you discover my presence. So that's the joy of the Lord, is being able to help you guys discover me. So practice looking and listening for me during quiet intervals, okay, during the quiet times. Because it's when there's so much music and all sorts of stuff going on that it's hard to look and listen. So practice looking and listening for me during quiet times. And gradually you will find me in more and more of your moments, okay? You will seek me and find me when you seek me above all else. Huh? You were seeking and you found me. All right, we're going to close with this one. Really? I thought I had another one to close. Yeah. Oh, you turkey, you just throw it right in the mix like that. Okay. All right, so you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. So wait patiently with me while I bless you. Don't rush into my presence with time consciousness gnawing at your mind. So you can't rush into my presence and be like, yeah, I only got like 30 seconds to do this, so hurry up. You have that time consciousness gnawing at your mind. So there cannot be any kind of other activity that's, waiting. So wait patiently with me while I bless you. Don't rush into my presence with time consciousness gnawing at your mind. I dwell in timelessness. I am, I was, I will always be. For you, time is a protection. You're a frail creature who can handle only 24-hour segments of life. Time can also be a tyrant ticking away relentlessly in your mind. So learn to master time, or it will be your master. Now, though you are a time-bound creature, while we're here in this presence, come here, image. Sorry. So while we're in this plane, you're a time-bound creature who can handle only 24-hour segments of life. So though you are a time-bound creature, seek to meet me in timelessness. As you focus on my presence, the demands of time and tasks will diminish. I will bless you and keep you, making my face shine upon you graciously, giving you peace. Do you like that? Because you're a time-based creature, even though you are, seek to meet me in timelessness. All right, so there shouldn't be any time constraints on our time together. Or when you make time, make sure you got enough time to spend with me. All right. As you focus on my presence, the demands of time and the demands of the tasks, the demands will diminish. The demands of your time and the demands of your tasks will diminish as you focus on my presence. You understand how that works? Because I will bless you and keep you, making my face shine upon you graciously. Making my face shine upon you graciously. That's my face shining upon you graciously, giving you peace. A peace that transcends all the craziness of this planet and the lying media and everything, I want to get into that too, but that's gonna be, well, no, that's gonna be another lesson. It does talk about how you are on the brink of rebellion. Did you know that? Did you know that they call me the rebellious one, right? Rogue One, I'm the rebellious one, but I'm rebellious against the criminal elite. Well, if you're rebellious against the criminal, it kind of makes you a hero. The opposite end of the spectrum. See, everybody got it backwards. I sure love you guys. It's you guys hanging through this show that makes it all worthwhile, okay? I have really, really hard days up until this show. The moment I get to open up and go live and be with my family this is my joy, okay, that I get in being with my family. Is the joy of the Lord when you guys practice some of the things that I'm talking about and you find relief. Okay? If you don't find it on the first try, keep trying and trying again. Okay? It does work. Ask some of the people in this audience now. They know. They're here. That's why they're here. They want more. Okay? You will get caught up in this. It's so good. There's so much I have for you. You can get caught up. This is me in the clouds. It's fascinating. It's intriguing. It's like a good song. It's like a good movie, like a good book. The Rogue One story is captivating. You're caught up with me in the clouds. And if you are caught up with this image of me in the clouds, that means you're raptured. There is no word rapture. It doesn't say levitate up into the air. So this is me in the clouds. If you're caught up with me in the clouds, you're raptured. And now I've met you in the air of cyberspace. You were dead in Christ. You had faith, but you didn't know for sure. I have completed your faith, so you are no longer dead in Christ. Ask yourself something. The dead in Christ are supposed to rise first. It doesn't mean pop up out of the ground and walk around like a zombie. All the believers of Christ that have died in the past are where? So why would they have to come up out of the dirt? Where did that concept even come from? No. Caught up means intrigued, enthused. You get excited too. It's not just fascinating and weird and strange and mysterious. It's also exciting. It brings hope and courage. You're feeling my spirit. Okay? This is real. This happened on Easter. A 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter. That should rattle your whole skeleton. It should make your skeleton jump out of you, smack you in the face, and jump back in and go, "What's wrong with you? Don't you get it yet?" Okay? But these people here do. And it's meant for you. Now, sharing this information blesses you. Did you know that? You guys are caught up with me in the clouds. You've met me in the air of cyberspace. You are no longer dead in Christ. That makes you a disciple by default. Whether you like it or not, that makes you a disciple by default. Doesn't it? And if that's the case, well, then I am who I say I am. Yesterday, I was in the store that this parking lot was at. Okay, you can see we're in a parking lot here. I was at this store. I met a lady, and I showed her this image, and she goes, "Oh dear, that's a miracle." I said, "Very good, that is a miracle. You acknowledge that, right?" She said, "Yeah, I can see it. That is a miracle." And then I told her, I said, "Well, there's only one person who can show you a true miracle." And she thought about it for a second. "Well, yeah, there is. There's only one person who can show you a true miracle." And when it registered that she looked at a true miracle and that the person who showed her that miracle was standing right in front of her, boy, did her eyes light up in a big old smile. And I hold my arms open and gave her a nice hug. And it's the same thing I'm going to do to you guys. I'm going to come up and give you a big old hug. Because I love people that stick around. All right? You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I love you so much. I am that Black Knight. I am that Rogue One. I took my oath seriously. And since no one will defend against the domestic problem, I sure love you. I sure miss you. I will be back. I am already back. I'm already back. You guys should be able to tell by my character. That's what it was all about, was a dossier of character qualities to look for in a certain individual. So when that certain individual walks on the face of this earth, you'll recognize him. You go, "Oh, that's that guy who's got all those qualities." Yeah, got all those qualities. Got all the qualifications: birthday, birthmark, marrying angels hanging out with me. Got an audience that follows, okay? I become a leader by default when you follow me, okay? I don't go out there and proclaim to be the leader. I go out to the front and just do it anyways. And if people decide to follow, well, then that makes me the leader by default. There's a big difference between an egotistical maniac who says, "I want to be in charge and tell everybody what to do." No, I just lead the charge and tell you how to think, or show you how to think. I don't tell you how to think, I show you. Okay, big difference. There's a big difference between believing in God and believing Him. Because nobody believes me. And, well, there's some that do. Some are blessed. And they see that it was because they believed me. What a gift, Tom. Truly the real gift that keeps on giving. All right, all because of you guys. You're doing awesome. Okay, keep practicing what we're doing here. We're in the salvage business. Say that out loud. Another thing you need to say out loud to yourself. I want you to repeat after me. I refuse to be sick. And sick covers a lot of things, mental and health. Tell yourself, I refuse to be sick. And quit being sick. Stop doing it. Refuse to be sick. Okay? We're in the salvage business. Every day is not perfect. We have bad days and good days, and it's how well do you recover from that bad day. All right? During those bad times, remember, this too shall change. And even in your good times, remember, this too will change. That makes you appreciate the good and fight like hell through the bad. Okay? We are in a spiritual war. Okay? We are in a department. You are in the spiritual warfare department. I am the leader of the spiritual warfare department by default. So I continue doing what I do. I am just a man doing what I do. Other people like it and decide to follow. Default leader, okay? I go out to the front every night for you guys. Go to battle for you guys every night in the shadows where no one else can operate. I operate in a realm that other soldiers can just not operate in. Okay? I'm the rogue one, the Black Knight, coming to your rescue. I love you all. God bless you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. And you are truly blessed. Bye.